In every country, families need official documents to prove identity and civil status. A birth certificate shows when and where a person was born. A marriage certificate shows when two people marry. As lawyers, we often help clients get these documents or explain them in English. In today's lesson, you'll learn simple vocabulary, grammar, and legal phrases to talk about birth and family records clearly. At the end of today's lesson, you will use vocabulary like birth certificate, marriage certificate, death certificate, family register, registrar, civil status, official copy, and public record. You'll practice the present simple passive to describe these documents. For example, a birth certificate is issued by the registrar. Legal phrases like register a birth, issue a certificate, public record of marriage, certified copy, and civil registry office. And explain why these documents are important in law and daily life. Let's begin with a simple story. A couple has a baby girl. After the birth, the law requires them to register the child. They go to the civil registry office, the government office that keeps family records. At the office, they meet the registrar. The registrar's job is to record important events, births, marriages, and deaths. The parents show their IDs and give the baby's name, the date of birth, and the place of birth. The registrar writes this information into the public record. This means the information is stored officially, and anyone can later request an official copy. After the details are recorded, the registrar issues a birth certificate. The parents take the birth certificate home. Later, they will need it many times to enroll their daughter in school, to apply for a passport, and even for her future marriage record. Without this document, it would be difficult to prove who she is and when she was born. This story shows the process. The birth is registered by the registrar. The birth certificate is issued. The record becomes part of the official public record. In family law, these steps are very important. Every person begins their legal life with a birth certificate. A birth certificate is one of the most important legal documents in a person's life. It shows the full name, date of birth, place of birth, and the parents' names. For example, the hospital gave the parents a birth certificate. Imagine a lawyer helps a client apply for a visa. The embassy asked the child's birth certificate. Without it, the application cannot continue. In many countries, the birth certificate is the first step in proving identity, nationality, and family relationships. It is truly the foundation of civil status. A marriage certificate proves that two people are legally married. It includes the names of the spouses, the date of marriage, and the place where the ceremony happened. For example, they showed the marriage certificate at the embassy. Imagine a woman applies for residency in another country. Immigration asks her to prove she's married to a citizen. The marriage certificate is the evidence. Lawyers often need to translate, verify, or request copies of marriage certificates for family law, immigration law, and inheritance cases. A certificate is issued when a person dies. It records the name, date, place of death, and sometimes the cause. For example, the lawyer filed the death certificate with the court. Imagine a family wants to divide an estate. Before the court begins probate, it requires the death certificate. Without it, the law cannot confirm that the person has passed away. This document closes the legal identity of a person, while the birth certificate opened it. Family register is an official list of family members. Some countries use it to track relationships and legal status. It may include births, marriages, divorces, and deaths in the same family. For example, the family register includes parents and children. Imagine a lawyer in Japan or Korea checks a client's family register to confirm inheritance rights. The register shows who belongs to the family, who is married, and who has died. This makes it a powerful document in family law. Registrar is the government official responsible for recording births, marriages, and deaths. They keep the official civil records and issue certificates. For example, the registrar issued the certificate. Imagine parents take their newborn to the registrar's office. The registrar checks their IDs, writes the information, and issues the birth certificate. Without the registrar, there is no official record. The registrar is the guardian of family records. Civil status describes a person's position in family law: single, married, divorced, or widowed. It can also include whether someone is a minor or an adult. For example, her civil status is single. Imagine a man applies for social benefits. The office asks about his civil status. If he is married, he may receive different rights than if he is single. Civil status is simple vocabulary, but it is a central idea in family records. Official copy is a duplicate of an original record with a stamp or seal to prove it is authentic. People often need official copies when applying for jobs, visas, court cases. For example, the court asked for an official copy of the birth certificate. Imagine a student applies to study abroad. The university requires an official copy of her birth certificate. A simple photocopy is not enough. Only the registrar's seal makes it valid. The record is information officially kept by the government that can be reviewed or requested. Family events like births, marriages, and deaths are entered into the public record. For example, the marriage was entered into the public record. Let's look at a story. A journalist checks the public record to see if a politician is married, or a lawyer requests a public record to prove inheritance rights. Public records protect transparency and allow society to trust official information. Legal English, we often use the present simple passive to describe official processes. The structure is subject plus is or are plus the past participle. And why the passive? Because the focus is not on who does the action, but on what is done. For example, a birth certificate is issued by the registrar. The important part is the document, not the person. Family records are kept at the registry office. We care about the records, not about the staff, the people who work there. Imagine a lawyer explains to a client, the death certificate is filed with the court. Civil status is recorded in the public register. The passive voice is very common in legal English because law focuses on processes and documents rather than individual actors. See how the present simple passive works in context. First example, a birth is registered within 15 days. This describes a legal duty. We don't say who registers it. The law simply requires it to be done. Example 2. A marriage certificate is required for immigration. This tells us the document is necessary. Again, the focus is on the certificate, not the immigration officer. And the third example, official copies are provided upon request. This describes what happens when you ask the registrar. The action is done automatically. Imagine a foreigner asks a lawyer in English, "How do I get my documents?" The lawyer answers, A birth certificate is issued at the registry office. A copy is given if you apply with ID. The passive makes the explanation simple, clear, and professional. It is one of the most useful structures for lawyers explaining procedures. Register a birth means to officially record the baby's details with the government. This is the very first legal step in a person's life. For example, parents must register a birth at the registry office. Imagine a baby boy is born in a hospital. The doctor gives the parents a notice of birth. The parents then go to the civil registry office. They show their IDs and provide the baby's name, date of birth, and place of birth. The registrar registers the birth. The law in most countries gives a time limit. In some places, a birth must be registered within 15 or 30 days. If the parents are late, they may need special permission from a court. Registering a birth creates the baby's legal identity. Without registration, the child may not be able to attend school, get health care, or obtain a passport. Lawyers working with human rights often fight for children whose births were never registered. This simple phrase, register a birth, has enormous legal and social importance. To issue a certificate means that an official authority creates and gives out an official document. For example, the registrar issued a birth certificate. Imagine, after the baby's birth is registered, the registrar prepares a certificate. It has the official seal, the child's details, and the registrar's signature. This paper is handed to the parents. At that moment, the certificate is issued. Lawyers often request that new certificates be issued for clients. For example, a marriage certificate may be lost or damaged. A lawyer may help the client apply for a new one. Different offices issue different certificates. A registry office issues a birth, marriage, and death certificate. A court may issue a divorce certificate. A notary may issue certified copies. The phrase is important because it shows official action. A document does not exist legally until it is formally issued. Public record of marriage means that the marriage is officially written in the government register. For example, the marriage was entered into the public record. Imagine, two people get married in a civil ceremony at the registry office. The registrar records their names, the date, and the location of the wedding. This information becomes part of the public record of marriage. Why is this important? Immigration offices check the public record to confirm if someone is legally married. Courts look at the public record to decide inheritance or divorce cases. Banks or insurance companies may ask to see proof of marriage or financial rights. If a marriage is not entered into the public record, it may not be recognized by the law. In some cases, lawyers must go to court to prove the marriage existed. The phrase, public record of marriage, shows that society recognizes the relationship as legal. A certified copy is a duplicate of an original document, but it carries the official stamp or seal that proves it is authentic. For example, the lawyer requested a certified copy of the marriage certificate. Imagine a woman applies for citizenship. The immigration office says, "We need your birth certificate." She cannot send the original because she needs to keep it. Instead, she requests a certified copy from the registry office. The registrar stamps it, signs it, and confirms it is true to the original. In law, certified copies are used everywhere. In court cases, lawyers present certified copies of birth or death certificates. In universities, students send certified copies of their diplomas. In banks, customers provide certified copies of passports. A simple photocopy has no legal value. Only a certified copy is accepted as evidence. That is why this phrase is essential for lawyers working with documents. The Civil Registry Office is the place where all family records are kept. It is the heart of family law administration. For example, the Civil Registry Office keeps all birth, marriage, and death records. Imagine, parents need a birth certificate, a widow needs a death certificate, and a couple needs to register a marriage. They all go to the Civil Registry Office. The registrar checks the records, issues certificates, and enters new information. The office plays three roles: recording events like births, marriages, divorces, deaths, storing public records, meaning keeping them safe and permanent, as well as issuing official documents, which is giving certified copies to citizens and lawyers. Without the Civil Registry Office, society would not know who is born, who is married, or who has died. For lawyers, this office is often the first place to visit when proving identity, family relationships, or civil status. Let's bring everything together with a story. A family has a young daughter. They go to the Civil Registry Office to register her birth. The registrar writes down her name, date, and place of birth. A birth certificate is issued. Years later, the girl is ready to start school. The school says, "We need a certified copy of her birth certificate." The parents return to the registry office. The registrar checks the public record and gives them a certified copy. With this document, the girl can enroll in school. Later in life, when she gets married, her marriage is entered into the public record. If she moves abroad, she may need another certified copy for immigration. And one day, when her parents pass away, the family will need death certificates to manage inheritance. This one story shows how all the documents we studied, birth, marriage, death certificates, official copies, and public records, follow us through life. Lawyers are often the ones who guide families in getting and using these documents. That is why learning to talk about them in English is so important. Review what we learned today. Regarding vocabulary, you practice the essential words for family records: birth certificate, marriage certificate, death certificate, family register, registrar, civil status, official copy, and public record. Regarding grammar, you learned how the present simple passive is used in legal English to describe official actions, like a birth is registered or a certificate is issued. And legal phrases such as register a birth, issue a certificate, public record of marriage, certified copy, and civil registry office. And we finished with a story. We followed the life of one person through birth, school, marriage, and inheritance, showing how these documents are used again and again. Now you can describe the most important family records in simple, professional English.